Welcome to upstate New York here for the Watkins here at Watkins Glen International here tonight for Undisputed Cup Series race number 7 of the season, as you have the back of pack designs 135 tonight. It's currently qualifying getting underway as these drivers will tackle their first road course of the season. We'll see who can master the left turns and right turns of this just under 2.5 mile road course.
Yeah, right now it's one of 2 road courses on the schedule. We go to the Charlotte Roval in the second race of the chase, so one of 2. So not the most typical racetrack type that we see this season, but definitely unique in its own right. So we'll see how it plays out tonight, as we had the doubleheaders last week at Atlanta at a Super Speedway, so completely pretty much a 180 going here to a road course. So we'll see how these drivers qualify. As qualifying currently underway, 10 minutes in total for this qualifying session.
These drivers get 2 laps to set their lap time. In practice, it was Cameron Craighead. He won 2 races ago, last week at Atlanta. Last race at Atlanta, he won the first race there of that doubleheader. He was the fastest on the racetrack with a 1:12.937 in practice. So we'll see if he can back up that time. A few other fast drivers that didn't really make a full start so far. Evan Patinko, we saw speed at him, Auto Club, and a couple other races so far this season. He makes a return tonight. We'll see what he can do on the road course, but he did not get it in time to set a practice lap. So we'll see how Patinko will be able to do.
There's Craig down the back straightaway going into the bus stop here at Watkins Glen. Very tough corner to get right. You want to get that entry right, because if you mess up the entry, it messes up the whole rhythm of that pretty much four different turns there in the bus stop.
Yeah, and the bus stop very tricky because you can hit ideally you want to hit those curbs, take all those curbs, all you can. Pretty much want to put your car all over the curbs, but some cars are different. This car can handle a little bit differently compared to maybe the next gen, the trucks and Xfinity cars. As Xfinity, you want to take as much curb as possible. Maybe the next gen, a little bit curve, just too much curve, just upsets the car and you'll go spinning, and that'll definitely end your night very early. So these drivers have to be a little bit careful with doing that. The first times are rolling in now. David Wells at the top of the world, but Cameron Craighead 1:13.709. Quick little banker lap to go to the top of the board there for Cameron Craighead. This is about just under a second slower than his practice time. So we'll see if he can pick up on lap number 2.
There's more drivers coming in here now. Lap times rolling in, but no one pretty much. Cameron Craig cleared the field by a second so far in these first laps. We'll see what he can do on this second lap. Maybe he can even open that gap up a little bit more as well. As the tires start to heat up a little bit, driver gets a little bit more confident. He can push that race car a little bit to its limits as well.
Yeah, that's also another big thing in this next gen car. Currently here on this service is really these tires very cold in those first few laps of the road course, and the first lap's really your slowest lap, as really the heat is just really heat matters as long as you don't get them too hot, but it's really hard to get them very hot. So just kind of warm them up as much as you can for the first lap and your out lap, and push as hard as you can for your second lap. So decent lap here, it looks like, for Craighead. We have to tighten a few corners and lost maybe a little bit of time, but we'll see across the line. It should be a pickup, and a 1:13.086 for Cameron Craighead puts him solidly on the top of the board by over a second and a half, as Damon Murata moves to P #2 as he completes his lap.
And he's only half a second off. Only half a second off of Cameron Craighead there. So definitely closes the gap just a little bit, but just not quite enough to get to that top step. So comes Cody Dorsey, 2-time winner this season at Legacy Texas and Rockingham. Looking to make it 3 here. Currently 6th in qualifying. Can he pick up the pace here? Move himself maybe a little bit quicker. Doesn't look like he will. He pretty much runs the same exact lap time.
He validated. That was a validated lap. So maybe got the wall in the S's. I saw Dakota Bly. He got the wall in his first lap right there in the S's. He can get very tight in those S's right up the hill. Now, interesting note, Cameron Craighead is the fastest on the pole, but He does have an EOL for caused incident last week from race control. So Cameron Crackhead, he'll have to start from the back and go to the back. So really, third place will start on the pole tonight. So as the inside row will just move up, but Cameron Crackhead trying to get a crucial pit stall. Don't have to worry about hitting pit road speed off the exit, as it's very short distance to from pit stall 1 to the exit line. So we'll see who can get that first pit stall.
Yeah, it's going to be super important here today. I mean, I think based on the fuel numbers, it might only be one pit stop, I believe. Yeah, 22 to 25, maybe 2.
I think it's going to be just a 2-stop. I mean, they're going to have to save to about 27 laps. Be a lot of saving. We'll see if anyone can do it. But there's we're here with Kyle Schmitz as he's on his out lap. Dakota Bly going down the back straight. Well, down into turn number 6 and 7 now. Well, looks pretty loose through there. Not a great turn 6, but coming through the final corner of turn number 7, Dakota Bly just going to take it easy and validate the first lap. I think just want to get a lap time on the board. Really took it easy off that final corner. 1:15.037. That'll put him to P7 on the board.
There's only 2 drivers left to have not set a lap time at all, or haven't even got into the first lap either. As with about 3 minutes and 15 seconds left, they should have plenty of enough time to set those 2 laps.
Yeah, Batinko, first lap here. Should have enough time to complete these laps. Kyle Schmitz, though, to go to the final quarter now, you probably want to round about 2.5 minutes. As he will get there, so Kyle Schmitz will have enough time to barely get both laps in, but Evan Patinko, he's rocketing down the back straightaway. We'll see. He did not set a practice lap, so we'll see how much speed he's got in that race car, that 81 machine.
Oh, he's losing the bus stop, and there he goes.
There it is, just pushing that bus stop just a little bit too much, backs into the outside wall.
Some heavy contact.
Keep that going.
I don't think he has enough time to no, he will have enough time to reset. I think it'll be very close though.
You have enough time to get a 1 lap in, but the tires will be at the temperature.
Not anymore. It's too late now. As Kyle Schmitz now on through the bus stop he goes. Now through the carousel. A little wide there. Almost off the racetrack there, that white line. Making it very easy, it seems like, on a 19 machine. As he going down to the short chute there, into the penultimate corner.
Off of turn number 6, gonna put it right on that curb. We'll see what he can do here in turn 7. There's a little bit of gap off to the left side of the car there. Let's put that entry too much, but we'll see. This is his banker lap, really, for lap number 1.
Put some 10th.
Number 1, we'll put him 10th, so.
Try push a little bit this lap.
1. A little bit too much curb there on the apron, a little bit too much curb in turn 1 there, it looked like. So you can do here in the bus stop. As you look, he got very tight, lost the front of the car, as he did not get close to that curve at all. For that second part of the S's, we'll see how well he can make up time here in the bus stop.
He walks it up a little bit, some smoke there from the tires on the entry to the bus stop. Really trying to drive it deep into those corners, trying to make up some time. Through the carousel he goes, keeping it a little bit lower than he did last time, so I think he'll probably definitely improve. It looks like a little bit smoother lap than his previous lap.
See what he can do. Can he pick up? As meanwhile, Evan Patinko crossing the line for his lap. He off track turn number 6, so he will not get that lap time. So he'll have to start from the back tonight. But Kyle Schmitz through the final corner. See, is it enough to maybe get a couple more spots off of turn number 7? The rockets down the front straightaway.
Tracking good.
1:14.0. I'll put him to P4.
Great lap there. Seems like he got
a good second lap.
Yeah, seems like he got a bit loose off the entry to the last corner, turn 7. I think it cost him a little bit of time there, but still puts himself inside the top 5. Great starting position here for tonight's race as qualifying wrapping up. Cameron Craighead will get pole, but like you mentioned, he'll get UL penalty So to come from the back of the field and as a fast driver, that's going to be pretty interesting to see here at a road course seat like Watkins Glen.
And also another one I keep my eye out for. Paseco was watching his laps. He looked very fast in a lot of these corners, similar to how Craighead was taking them, but just overstepped them a little bit and just messed up those laps. And I think Paseco maybe we'll see if he can have a little bit of speed. He's going to be towards the back with Craighead right off the start, as Craighead will get that yellow penalty. So we'll see how fast Paseco will be going into this race, but I think he'll definitely have a really good car to go up front. But Cameron Craighead he will get his yellow penalties. They line up on the grid, but he will get that really good, that important first pit stall there, so you won't have to worry about hitting pit speed coming off the exit of pit road. And with 2 stops tonight, that's definitely going to be interesting. And also, we'll see if anyone takes tires or not. Typically, you don't want to take tires on these road courses because really, with this next gen and just how this tire model is currently on the service, the cold tires really hurt you more, and it's slower on the cold tires. So you just want to keep it on the warm tires and just take fuel only. So we'll see how those strategies play out later in this race. Especially, we'll see if Cameron Craighead, maybe Evan Patinko, those drivers in the back, maybe try something like that if a lot of these drivers up front take tires. But as now they are gridding up for tonight's race, we're going to take a look at our starting lineup for tonight's back-a-pack designs 135 here from Watkins Glen. So just starting on the pole will be Cameron Craighead. Alex Bonsier will start second. Starting third tonight will be the 99 of Cody Pruitt. Kyle Schmitz will start fourth. Jason Bottoms will start fifth. David Murata will start sixth. Cody Dorsey will start seventh. Digital Gladden at 25 machine will start eighth. Starting ninth will be the 22 of David Wells, and Justin Dews will start 10th. Scott Kerber will start 11th. Cole Lewis will start 12th, and running our 13 car field tonight will be Evan Patinko. With that UL penalty for Kevin Crackett, that will move Cody Pruitt to the pole. So Cody Pruitt will be the control car. We'll see how well those drivers can work their way through. But Cameron Craighead was able to get the pole, so we're going to take a quick talk to him and just see how his game plan is into this race. So Cameron Craighead able to get the pole. We got to serve that EOL penalty here. So what's your game plan getting through this field, and how are you gonna be able to try and get up front and get this race win tonight?
You know, I haven't thought much about it, but I'm probably just gonna try to keep the car clean. It's no cautions unless, you know, there's a massacre in the turn 1, but I'm just gonna keep it clean, try to keep my tires not too burned up. So when I pit, and then I'm gonna pit early, probably try to get a jump on some people and maybe track down the leaders, go from there.
So I know the fuel numbers, they were for about 22 to 25 laps. So what's your game plan? Do you think, is it anywhere close to maybe making a one stop and saving a lot of fuel, or do you think what's your game plan there, and just 2 stop, or are you not gonna be able to make it on the 1 stop?
I mean, you can go ahead and try to save, but I think you're better off pushing the pace and just going for that second stop, no tires, and just going out. That's gonna be my plan. But I mean, possibly saving, I don't know.
All right, well, once again, congrats on your pole, and thanks for your insight, and good luck in tonight's race.
Thank you.
So that was our pole sitter, Cameron Craighead. He'll have to work his way from the back for previous penalty from Atlanta. So we'll see how Cameron Craighead can work his way through the field. But Cody Pruitt and Alex Bonsignor will be on the front row for tonight's back-to-back designs. 135 here from the Glen. Tonight we got 55 laps, and we'll probably see 2 pit stops. So we'll see a lot of different strategies playing out tonight. But the pace car going to take that hard right turn onto pit road, as these drivers will lead them to the Geico Research Zone. Green flag is in the air. We're underway for the Glen.
Down to turn 1, 3 wide for third for a moment there. It looks like everyone makes it through cleanly through turn 1. Now up the S as they go.
We're trying to fight for their spot in line now. You don't really want to go side by side through the S's. That could lose you a lot of time.
Oh, contact there!
Oh, Kyle Schmitz hard to the outside wall. Big wreck is multiple cars into the outside wall. Kyle Schmitz was one of those with major impact. He was looking for his second win of the season after one at the Brickyard a few weeks back. and he's got heavy damage on his left front tire there.
Oh, hard hitting the
Just lost it
outside
off the
wall.
corner.
One,
Murata also lost it a little bit, but able to keep it clean. But Kyle Schmidt's really the big one, damage out of that one. But Alex Bonsior are out to a big lead right now as Cody Pruitt did not get the start he hoped for. But he's still able to slide in second after that incident from Kyle Schmidt. So we'll see if he has any pace to chase down Alex Bonsior.
as I believe that just was caused by the colder tires we talked about earlier. It was Justin Dews spinning out. Justin Dews in the pit lane there. He's got to reverse
go
it.
down pit road to avoid the penalty.
Oh no!
He's back up the racetrack.
Cole Lewis, I think. Yeah, Cole Lewis involved there. Had pretty much unfortunate for him.
And a lot of calamity happening here on lap number 1, and Cole Lewis straight into turn number 1. He is the broken right front tire. He cannot turn the race car. He's gonna have to tow.
Nowhere for him to go.
There for Cole Lewis. There's nothing you can do. Just that a car backing up in front of him off the racetrack there.
Yeah, I think Justin, excuse me, thought that maybe he was all good there and could back up. Also, he has a black flag now for, I believe, probably entering unsafe pit entry, unsafe pit exit or something like that. So have to come down pit lane once again. So a lot of calamity happened early on. But Cameron Craig is already up to 6th place now.
Yeah, Cameron Craig driving fast right now, working well through the field, but Evan Patinko right in front of him. So we'll see how well Cameron Craighead can get by Evan Patinko. As Patinko, he's also up very well. He started in the last right behind Cameron Craighead, and he's already up to 5th. So these two both working their way through the field really fast. It's not going to be side by side for that position going into turn 1.
Side by side, still off the exit though. Craighead clears up the S's, and he's now moved himself in the top 5 already on lap 3. So right now his plan's going pretty good. He said earlier he wanted to pit a little early, probably jump some people there on the shortcut or the undercuts. He's to the right side of Cody Dorsey, down the back straightaway and into the bus stop. There's a little walk.
Get that move done. Patinko's struggling to get by here. Just work the way to the inside. He will side by side off the carousel. Patinko will move up to P number 5 as the Cameron Craighead putting that pace in. He's chasing down these leaders. As Alex Bonsior still holds the lead, but last time by, Cameron Craighead was a second faster, but also was lap number 2, so the tire is still now getting up to temperature. So we'll see how well some of these drivers up front can push their pace.
It's all kind of just separated by a few second and a half or so from each other. So now they're all kind of in cleaner air as well. So now they can just kind of push their own pace, like you mentioned, and maybe save some tires. And maybe if one of these drivers want to make a one stop, save some fuel as well.
And Alex Bonsior, he was only about 3/10 slower than Cameron Craig had that lap. So he started to push that pace a little bit. His tires coming up to the temperature, feel a little bit comfortable now on those warm tires. Has some trucks going through the corner, so we'll see how well he gets to the bus stop here. Taking it very easy to the bus stop. Did not even get on those curbs there as you see Cameron Craig. He's all over those curbs. He's really attacking those curbs in the bus stop, and that's where I think that's where he's gaining a lot of his time. Bus stops are where a lot of time can be gained if you really attack it all over those curbs. You also can lose a lot of time if you take it really easy. Just kind of one of those corners where you feel like you want to push this and maybe just sacrifice a little bit of time. You feel comfortable pushing it. You won't try to be a lot faster than everybody else. But here comes Cameron Craighead. Had the opportunity to duck the nose there under Jason Bottoms through the final corner, but not going to do it.
Gonna do it here in the turn 1.
So go side by side, gonna get right on that curve a little bit, and he's gonna clear Jason Bottoms through turn number 1. Cameron Craighead really fast through that, really fast there compared to our race leader Alex Bonsior, about a second and a half faster.
As Craighead is really put his way to the field, avoid the first top track. Ooh,
Oh, he's
little
really
mistake
wide there.
there.
That's
To the
big
grass.
mistake.
As Bottoms also went wide as well, trying to avoid.
And Pacheco also went into the grass just a little bit. He dipped the tire in the grass. But I'm already noticing Alex Bonsior taking the bus stop a lot easier. I think that's one of his reasons. Doesn't feel confident going into the bus stop. Doesn't want to over push it.
Yeah, just wants to make the least amount of mistakes that he can. Because that could also help at a road course like this with no cautions coming out. If you just make the least amount of mistakes, that can give you a big edge on the rest of the field, big advantage on the rest of the field as well.
And Cameron Craighead, he's now back to 3.3 seconds back. Still holds P number 3. The drivers staying pretty much separated, but pretty much evenly, about a second and a half mostly between each driver. But Cameron Craighead, really good pace so far tonight. Alex Bonsior, good pace out in front for now. So we'll see. He's keeping it nice and mistake clean, mistake free. Now it could be a factor tonight as well. There is a incident penalty limit, which is 30x. So Watkins Glen, typically one not to be worrying about incidents, but there is a few areas on the racetrack where if you kind of dip a tire off, it could be a little quicker, especially in the bus stop, maybe turn 1. If you go really wide and turn 1 above the curb, you can get an X there.
Yeah, especially with the newer updated Watkins Glen. It's been out for probably a year or two. The old Watkins Glen that no longer exists used to have been really bad with the off tracks. But with the brand new one, a newer one, it's not really a big of an issue. But Cameron Craig with a great run off that final corner in turn 1, he just seems to be able to drive it in a little bit more confident, maybe with his race car on the entry to these corners. That's really, I think, the big difference compared to him and the other drivers. Also,
what I've really noticed compared to what I've seen, I was on board with Bonsior just for a little bit there. It looks like he's not really pushing those gears. Is really normally you want to be kind of around 3rd gear in that bus stop and through some of these corners. And Cameron Craighead able to keep it, feels confident keeping it in that higher gear, able to maintain more speed through the corner, and able to drive it in a little bit deeper. Some of these drivers may be shifting down a little bit too much. It's now Cameron Craighead's going to try and go around the outside in turn 6. It's a very hard spot, a hard way to pass. But he's going to overdrive it just a little bit, get over that curb. But he's going to be able to do it. But as I was mentioning, he's just keeping the higher gear, able to drive it in deeper. If you just shift a little bit too early, you really bog your car down, trying to get slow it down with the engine braking. But now Cameron Craighead side by side once again with Cody Pruitt down to the turn 1. He's going to get a good corner as Pruitt goes a little bit wide. He's going to keep it on the track though, below the curb there. But Cameron Craighead, I think, just able to keep a higher gear if he was a little bit more confident on the brakes.
yeah, we're already lap 8 into this one as well. So, seems like it's gone by pretty quick, at least up here in the booth. But for some of these drivers, it probably seems like it's an eternity already, unless it's only lap 8. Especially just, it's really Watkins Glen, just kind of a rhythmic racetrack. Just very flowy with the bus stop and the carousel and these 90-degree corners. Just very rhythmically. You just gotta be in the rhythm. After a few laps, I think you see these drivers not make as many mistakes. Also, with the tires also not being as cold, that will definitely help. Yeah, at this point in the race, your tires are pretty warm. 8-9 laps into this one.
Yeah, you can really push it with those warm tires, but Pacheco maybe a little bit too much there. It's really loose. I think maybe downshift a little bit too early.
Yeah.
Lost the back end of the race car.
Either that or he might clip the grass on the entry, possibly. He was pretty close to the outside, but either way, good save for him in that final corner as he's trying to catch up to Jason Bottoms up ahead in 4th.
These gaps starting to close down for a few drivers as Cameron Craighead trying to close that gap to Alex Bonsior. The gap between those two drivers is starting to kind of even out a little bit as Bonsior, I think, starting to push it a little bit more, knowing Craighead's up to 2nd now. try to maintain his lead. Through the carousel as we're going to come off the carousel here down the second back straightaway. That's right, pushing him way off the corner there, just using all the track he can. And so it's a penalty out there, so ideally you want to push that exit as much as you can. Use as much of the track as you can without getting any incident points there. But a good line for Craighead through those final 2 corners. He's closing that gap in now, just under a second now, under half a second actually.
Yeah, and that is a few car lengths back here for the race lead already here in lap 10. Maybe a little bit ahead of schedule than what Cameron Craighead thought he would be. As it seems like in his pre-race interview, he didn't really seem too confident in his ability to maybe get to the front. Maybe some pit stop strategy would help him, but he's done a really good job as he come down to the bus stop.
Not gonna have enough of a run to make a move there. Also a very bold move to make a move in the bus stop. Not attacking those curves as he was earlier, but gets on that final curve pretty well. Able to keep a much shallower entry through the carousel, but he's gonna plow off the racetrack just a little bit. As both off the curb a little bit. We'll see how much he extends this racetrack.
Way more.
Yeah, it's just able to carry a lot more speed out there. Lots of keeping it under that curb. Down through turn number 6. So I know response to you earlier. He's staying in second gear as this corner is definitely tricky to keep it in third gear, but it's also can be faster if you can get the corner right.
As lap
Maybe
traffic.
also sometimes you can get a second short shift to second there, but
Yeah, as well.
trying to close that gap in.
Lap traffic up ahead, we're catching up on, so that could play a factor right here. Don't know who will benefit, but definitely could play a factor in these two battling out.
Oh, but Craig just a little tight behind in the dirty air, I believe there. He's way off the racetrack. That's cost him a lot of time. Alex Bonsior, he's now Cameron Craig all over his bumper. He's now really picked up the pace. He's been running about half a second quicker than what he was. So Alex Bonsior really picking up the pace. Maybe he was trying to save a little bit of fuel out in front, while Cameron Craig was kind of mired in traffic in the back. I mean, knowing it could be a little bit close to that one stop, so maybe Bonsior maybe could have been saving a little bit of fuel. But now you got Kyle Schmitz involved in a lap 1 crash. He's trying to stay and fight for on the lead lap, but he's got Alex Bonsior and Cameron Craig running him down quickly. Cameron Craig can't get within a few tenths, just making maybe a few many mistakes. Just kind of struggling to adapt to that dirty air in the S's.
Yeah, especially with this next gen car, it seems like the dirty air definitely a bigger factor maybe than a truck or Xfinity car. We'll see how he does here in the S's up the hill. It still seems like he's being really affected right there.
Yeah, S's are really the worst spot for dirty air. Is it fastest corner on the racetrack pretty much. Especially along sweeping corners, it's really bad for dirty air. You think it's bad now, just wait until next week when the new aero package comes out for this next gen car here on the service. So that's also going to be a storyline heading into next race, as next Tuesday we'll have the new build and these next gen cars will be getting major updates. So definitely be fun to watch those updates play out next week.
Yeah, not sure, but like you mentioned, the dirty air definitely could be worse, but also the tire model should be getting updated as well. So I mean, it's just gonna be a whole different probably handling race car, which is gonna throw a big wrench into this one right in the middle of the season as well.
So that'll definitely see how these drivers react. So and that also brings kind of a new question into the road courses. Do these tires kind of hold on like they are now, and also the rollable later this season will be completely different in how this will drive. Kind of like how the tire will handle and the aero as well. So it'll be completely different compared to the rollable and the here at Watkins Glen than what we see coming up in a few months time once it gets later into the season. Oh, Cameron Craig all over the bumper there, actually hit the back bumper of Alex Bonsior, lost the front nose, got really loose. He's gonna save it, but he does have a little bit of front end damage. not really going to matter too much, especially on a road course, but it could maybe affect them a little bit more in dirty air. But Bonsignor getting held up there by Scott Kerberg off the corner.
Yeah,
off
just
the
ran in the back to him. Misjudged it possibly there and on the entry to the bus stop. But now Craig, like you mentioned, has front end damage, and he has to deal with that dirty air as well.
I don't think it affected him too bad, but it do have a fast repair that he can take under the pit stop. But he is struggling to get by Alex Bonsignor. Bonsignor really picked up the pace. He's actually had a really good pace so far. So Alex Bonsignor really taking that first part of the race easy. Now he's got to feel that pressure starting to push a little bit more. A lot of damage to that front end of Cameron Craighead. Doesn't seem like it's affecting him too much, but he's going to try and chase down Bonsignor again. Down the back straightaway. Also, if these two maybe get together a little bit more and maybe both of them make big mistakes. Cody Pruitt only about 3 seconds back, not too far behind. If both of them make major mistakes, but as they have to get by the lap car Cole Lewis there, maybe mess up their entry just a little bit.
And we saw Cameron Craig already really make a mistake in the bus stop, getting to the back there, and that almost took out both of them as well. That could have easily took out both of them if it wasn't just how stable they were on the entry. That could have been very bad for these top two drivers as well. But they're still duking it out here for the race lead. Cameron Craig he seems to, I mean, he caught up pretty quickly. He's one thing to catch him, another thing to pass him. Just has not been able to pass at all. He's been able to pass everyone else, but once he gets up to this race leader, just unable to make anything work, it seems like.
Yeah, really, Watkins, definitely a really tough place to pass. Really, turn six in the bus stop pretty much are your best bets, but bus stop you can be a very risky place to pass, especially going side by side there. But also, you have to get a good run through the S's, which is kind of a little tough to do with the dirty air. If you can manage that run perfectly through the S's, you get a really good run down to the bus stop. But really, the bus stop and turn 6 are your best bets to pass in turn 1 as well. If you can get a good run off the final corner, but also dirty air can affect you a little bit there. But especially if you're trying to make a pass in turn 6, you really can't get the run off of 7 to maybe make a move into 1, because you're really already killing your momentum through 6 and 7, trying to go offline there.
Craig that seems to have a good 6 and 7. Gets a little tight though in turn 7, but I think it's okay for down the front straightaway. It's probably the closest he's been all night long. There's not enough as up the gears they go. Just not able to close the gap quite enough. But he's putting pressure though. And with the pit stop upcoming pretty soon, definitely could be maybe undercuts. Or maybe even overcut, depending on where he feels with his tire wear.
I don't think tire wear is really going to matter. I don't think any of these drivers will take tires. We'll see how that works out. Cameron Craighead down the back straightaway into the bus stop, closing that gap. But last time by, I think just got a little bit tight in turn 7, over push it a little bit. Turn 7 definitely very enticing to kind of overdrive it. Especially turn 6, especially right when you're behind somebody trying to pass them. And especially kind of those last 2 corners, kind of a one groove racetrack. So if you get slightly out of groove, just kind of get it out of the marbles a little bit, could upset the car, but he's got to run down to the 6. He's going to stay behind though. He's going to stay behind, maybe try and set him up in 7, maybe make a shot into 1, but I think just lost the front nose a little bit again on the brakes, and just going to cost him a little bit of time off, just too much time off exit.
Yeah, it's so hard to pass, it seems like, for Cameron Craighead. He made it through the whole rest of the field pretty easily, honestly. Pretty much lap 5, he was inside the top 5, and inside the top 3 by lap 8. But after that, he just kind of stuck in 2nd place right now. Both of the wall.
Alex Bonsignor, this is his chance. This is Craighead's chance down the back straightaway. But I think maybe also that front end damage could be affecting him a little bit. Maybe get him a little bit loose on the brakes.
Oh,
just
they
dirty lock up for Bonsignor. He's gonna go through the grass. Craighead's gonna cross him over, and that's the mistake Craighead needed from Bonsignor, and he's gonna be able to take advantage And Crackhead will go to the lead.
Bonsignor just seems like he's locked up on the entry there to the bus stop. He's done it a few times, it seems like. So it might just be overdriving just a little bit with Cameron Craighead putting some pressure on him. So now Craighead, can he pull away and try to gap the rest of the field? As also the battle for third heating up as well.
I wonder, maybe Alex Bonsignor, now he's back to second. Maybe we could try pit stop. It's going to be an easy two-stop race, so it's a very wide window. Could pit now and try something different there. We'll see how that works, but now Evan Patinko working on Cody Pruitt for that third place position. As Patinko, he was also with Cameron Craighead and towards the back, had to work his way through the field. Both those drivers worked their way up to the top 5 after only the first couple laps.
Yep. As Pruitt in third, Patinko in fourth, Bottoms in fifth. Currently that's top 5 right now. As like I mentioned a little bit ago, pit stops should be happening here shortly, around lap 20, give or take, to make this a 2-stop race.
The window was anywhere from 22 to 25, so really
way up the racetrack.
Big mistake off 7, yeah, and that's going to allow Patinko move to P number 3.
I think Pruitt just got a little tight there. Not found a corner on entry, maybe overdrove it just a little bit there as well.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit offline there. Offline on the entry, a little bit shallow, and just caught him off guard there on this turn-in point.
Yeah, but as everyone pretty much settled in now, 19 laps in this one, as Cameron Craig is now gapped big time. 3.5 seconds is a gap now. As all he really needed was some clean air, clipping the grass there. Surprising me to be overdriving too much right now, as he has a pretty comfortable lead currently.
And he's pulling away. Right now, he got that clean air, was struggling a little bit in the dirty air. We'll see when these drivers will come down pit road, maybe try to avoid that traffic. The pit window was really open from lap 5, because they can go about 25 laps on fuel depending on how you're shifting, how you're pushing the corners. So really the earliest window was about 44 to go. Should have been about lap 11 or 12. So that window is open. We could see someone maybe try and stretch it. Alex Bonsignor, he was a little slower before Craig had got to him, and he picked up the pace, so he could have been saving a little bit. We'll see if he can stretch it to maybe lap 27.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably really his only bet right now, is goes wrecking the back stretch.
I think just missed the bus stop there.
Take a look. I don't think he spun around, actually. Just looped it around the bus stop there.
Yeah, just a little bit too much curb there from Murata.
But he keeps it going.
But now Cameron Craighead out to another, puts more time into Alex Bonsignor there. Now out to a 5.5 second lead. See, not too far from pit stops now, as we'll see how much Cameron Craighead, how much he was pushing his way through the field. So we'll see what our true fuel number is. Is it closer to 22 or is it closer to 25? So we'll see how that plays out for Cameron Craighead. As we'll see, the next time battle will be lap 22, so I'll have the pit probably within the next 3 laps. See, we could see a different strategy as well with tires. Maybe some of these drivers take tires. Normally, taking no tires is faster because you lose too much time on the cold tires. So we'll see if maybe he takes tires. We think it might be a little bit better to be on some fresh tires. The camera crack coming down pit road. Yes, he goes very shallow.
Yeah, there he goes. He said in his interview he was going to pit a little early, and looks like that's what he's going to do, unless...
Bonsio's going to follow as well.
Because they are in the same voice chat, so...
And Patenko pits as well. Cody Pruitt.
So this might be the pit. This might be as long as they can go.
So very early stops than expected.
Yeah, we expected a little bit later, but nothing too crazy though. This is around the early pit window, but we'll see if anyone else stays out. Cody Dorsey, will he come? He's going through the carousel right now. He's a little further behind, so we'll see if he comes on pit lane, but we'll see if tires. So Craig does take tires, and everyone else as well. Actually, Tinko, he only takes right sides or left sides possibly there on pit lane. So he moves himself up to second now.
Zingo, good strategy call there with the fuel. I think just taking fuel only is there was a pretty 65% fuel tank, so probably did have to go to a second can maybe. But Patinka with a good strategy call there. So see if Patinko now, this Craighead took tires, so we'll see if he can chase down Cameron Craighead on a lot of time here on Cameron Craighead, as you'll have the warmed up tires already. Don't have to worry about the cold tires, so was pretty far back though, as Alex Bonjour, he actually had a really slow stop compared to Cameron Craighead, as he gained a lot more time on him through pit road. But Cameron Craighead still holds the race lead. Cody Dorsey came down pit road that time by as well, so everyone else pitted.
Yes, so everyone has made their pit stop here tonight, the first pit stop at least, so it's going to be a two-stop race for everyone. No one's trying the long strategy there and go on a one-stopper.
The crucial all-out for Evan Patinko. He was about 3 seconds faster than Cameron Craighead as Craighead took tires. So Patinko, just that shows you how much better the warmed up tires compared to the cold tires are. Just that much slower, 3 seconds slower on the outlap. So Evan Patinko very well on those old tires right now. See how much faster he is this time by as he enters turn 6 as Craighead's coming off 7 down the front straightaway, crossing the line. So Patinko about maybe half a straightaway behind, half the front straightaway behind. We'll see how much he picks up here on lap number 2 with the fresher, with the warmer tires. As he actually lost time to Cameron Craighead, just 2 seconds slower. So Craighead already got those tires up to temperature. Actually turns the fastest lap of the race, a 1:12.455. Really good lap for Cameron Craighead.
Yeah, great lap there for that 48 machine. He's really putting on a clinic here after his first pit stop with those fresh tires. Even with that front end damage, doesn't seem to affect him really at all.
Oh, but gets really wiggly through the bus stop there. Almost made a big mistake. That could have been a really big mistake there. But right now, close battle on the racetrack between Dakota Blind and Cody Dorsey as they were battling for 6th. As Cody Dorsey out in front by about half a second. But right now, Dakota Blythe trying to chase down Cody Dorsey for that 6th place spot. Cody Pruitt, big damage.
Blown
Engine
up.
blown up there, coming out down the back straightaway. I think maybe got loose off the carousel, hit the inside wall.
There's a bus stop. Yeah, just clip the curb the wrong
A
way.
little
and
bit too much
poof.
curb, hard hit for Cody Pruitt. That's going to promote Jason Bottoms up a position.
He still has his fast repair left, so he can use that so he can get back on the racetrack. He'll have a lot of time. He'll have a lot of time to make up once he get back into that top 5 spot.
Big mistake from Cody Pruitt there. That's going to cost him a lot of time, but Cameron Craighead.
Oh, Evan another
Pacheco!
one.
Another driver into the wall off the bus stop.
Just whoa, that was very weird.
Locked it up, it looked like hard to the wall. It clipped the curb. Did he maybe neck code the wall there?
Let's see if we can get a better look at that one from the chopper cam. Very strange incident there.
Yeah, it's just he hit the curb a little bit too much, took it a little bit too fast, and the car just shot right on him. So that's all it was. It was just weird, and then he locked it up.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you just come along for the ride. Definitely one of the weirdest incidents I've seen. I think he just maybe overdrove the corner a little bit there and clipped the curb. Go on board with him.
Yeah, the curb just took straightened him out. A big hit there for Evan Pazinko. So 2 cars, 2 laps in a row. Big damage, and that's actually going to put Jason Bottoms up to 3rd. Now the battle between Cody Dorsey and Dakota Bly, as they're still about a half a second between each other. That's going to be a battle for 4th now. As that will only, I believe that'll only put 5 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, currently 5 cars on the lead lap here. Coming to the halfway point on this one. As we've already had a lot of action so far here tonight.
Cameron Craighead last time by 13.8. Alex Bonsiar 14.5. So just so much faster on the racetrack right now as he's entering the bus stop. But these two still the closest on the racetrack. Dakota Bly not able to get close enough to get to Cody Dorsey. Cody Dorsey, Dakota Bly kind of just staying right within distance, just about half a second. While Cameron Craighead coming through turn 6 and 7 now. And let's go on board with that 48 machine. Just see where he's making that time up compared to everybody else. As we'll go lap on board here with Cameron Craighead to see how much better he is through these corners. As kind of navigate this lap here. So down to the turn 1, hard on the brakes, down to 2nd gear pretty early. Gonna clip that inside curb as best as possible. Gonna use all the track exit. Gonna keep it right on that curb. Get a wide entry here for the S's. Big lift there, trying to hug that right side curb, and to try and do the same here on the left side. Try to clip just a little bit there, put it right up against that wall, hug that curb down off the exit of the S's and down the back straightaway. Just see how tight he's with these lines, nice and neat. So hard on the brakes here for the bus stop. Clips all that curb and just barely right against that wall. Uses all the curb possible here, just pretty much more on the curbs for the bus stop than he is on the racetrack. And hugs that curb through the carousel. Just a really good lap, a really put together lap here for Cameron Craighead. But he get way off the racetrack. Just use all the track he can. Keep up the speed, and now hard on the brakes here for turn number 7. He's gonna go to the 2nd gear. Lost the front nose a little bit, but keeps it nice and tidy most of the way there. The short shift in the 3rd really messed up turn 7 there as he got really wide, a little bit too deep. Well, there's a lap with Cameron Craighead. Just see how much faster he is compared to the field. As that time by was 1:13.329, and the lap before it was a 1:12.666. So that lap was a little bit slower compared to this lap before. This kind of shows where he's making his time up through the compared to the rest of the field, but down the back straightaway now, Cody Dorsey still holding about just over half a second over Dakota Bly.
Yep, and these drivers around 7 laps on their tires. It seems like at some point the tires started locking up a little bit later in the run for some of these drivers as well. And obviously we saw some of those drivers on the colder tires, and especially in the bus stop. I think the bus stop's definitely the most probably dangerous place on the racetrack that you might make a mistake. I think if you're Cameron Craig, you kind of back it down here. I know he just wants to keep going, putting those fast lap times, but with about a 20-second gap to second, there's not really a reason to push that hard to try to be a second and a half faster than everyone each lap. Might as well just back it down a little bit and save your tires a little bit as well, and just maintain and ride for the rest of this one. As right now, huge lead for Cameron Craig, and really the only way they're going to catch him is if he pretty much wrecks out of this one.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, kind of backing off that last time by, he got really out of shape in the bus stop. Almost clipped that inside wall, and that could be really bad with wheel damage if he hit that. So would have been very good for Cameron Craighead, but he's still pushing that time and pushing that pace, and making sure he gets as big of a lead as possible. Doesn't want anyone having a chance at this. Right now, he is 20 seconds ahead of Alex Foxworth in second, and about 40 seconds ahead of Jason Bottoms there in third. Just under 40-second lead over Jason Bottoms. And he's got 43 seconds back to Cody Dorsey and Dakota Bly as they stay within about 0.7 of a second of each other. But only 5 cars on the lead lap here.
And 26 to go, so pit stops probably will happen in about 10 laps or so with 15 to go. That would put it around lap 40, which is around when these drivers pitted. These drivers pitted on lap 20, and so it'd be pretty much splitting it, the race in thirds, give or take a few laps. So it seems like these drivers just kind of, like you mentioned, just spaced out a little bit, just on their own. Close by on the racetrack is for 4th place, Cody Dorsey and Dakota Bly. The 9 car in the 25, but Cameron Craig looking for his first win on the season as well, which would be a very good momentum builder, as currently he's 6th in the points.
Second win of the season, he was able to win race number 1 in Atlanta, so he had a really good week at Atlanta last week, as it was kind of a very interesting format with the doubleheader. He won the first race and got second in the second race. He almost went 1 for 1 at Atlanta last week, so that would have been really good for Cameron Craig, but just lost it to Derek Riley in that final lap. Those two able to play a perfect pit strategy. Cameron Craig had 21-second lead now. He's really pushing that pace, but Cody Dorsey and Dakota Bly staying close with each other. As Dorsey a little bit slow through the bus stop there, a little bit wide. But now this probably about 3 more laps. Pit window will be open for the final stop, so we'll see if anyone pits very early. We try to avoid a little bit of traffic.
Yeah, that was a good play. Interesting battle here for 4th. If one of these drivers maybe do a little different strategy, undercut, but with the tires not really wearing too much, the undercut or overcut really won't affect much, except maybe some traffic that you might come out with. Maybe some lap cars could slow you down, but it's kind of a game where you have to kind of just wager there, and it's kind of random sometimes on who comes out of the pits and when they do so.
And also could maybe see a tire strategy as well. As you saw Cameron Craighead, a few drivers take tires last time by that last pit stop. Could have a few battles between these lap cars, as Kyle Schmitz, he had that incident on lap number 1. He's trying to chase down David Murata, as actually he just unlapped himself for David Murata, so little farther back, but he got by Scott Kerber. But he's got pretty much a lap between the driver in front and behind him. Scott Schmitz, he's actually been putting down pretty good lap times. He just came in a pit road, maybe. Yeah, and invalidate lap time last time by. Yeah, he did. So Kyle Schmitz just came out of pit road, so actually he's not going to be able to make it, I don't think. Actually, Scott Kerber were able to jump that spot, so that's going to be a battle for 8th soon between Kyle Schmitz and Scott Kerber for that 8th place spot as Schmitz trying to close that gap down. That's right, he actually fell behind Kyle Schmitz there. So as that scoring was updating. Evan Matsenko, from his incident earlier, he's still holding 7th, trying to chase down Cody Pruitt, which both those drivers have an incident. Cody Pruitt's about over a lap, just over half a lap behind, ahead of Evan Matsenko. Cody Dorsey now getting a little bit of pressure from behind with Dakota Bly. He's closing the gap. He's probably the closest he's been this whole run. This time I will be hitting 22 to go for these two drivers, so pit window will be open here. We'll see how well some of these drivers will, how early some of these drivers will pit. As he's right behind, he's got Charles Schmitz getting by Scott Kerber for that 8th place spot.
Yeah, as like you mentioned, pit window should be open this lap, next lap. So you could see some drivers short pit here. Maybe do a little bit different strategy than some of their competitors. Maybe try to get a position or two here and there. Just a little bit extra. Just a little bit extra points that they can have in the middle of the season going into the chase, or the playoffs, I should say.
Especially if you get that, like Dakota Bly, you're behind Cody Dorsey, can't really find your way by. You're struggling a little bit in the dirty air. Pit now and get some clean air, get some fresh track. And get some clean track out there to push your lap and maybe jump Cody Dorsey in that pit strategy. So we see some Dakota Bly, maybe try something like that. As they aren't too far back from Jason Bottoms, about 5 seconds back. It's still a healthy gap for Jason Bottoms, but if Bottoms made a pretty big mistake, these two will be there for that 3rd place spot. There goes Dakota Bly down pit road here as he'll cross the line on pit road with 21 laps to go. I believe Cameron Craighead.
And Jason Bottoms also pitted as well.
Jason Bottoms. So Cameron Craighead, I believe, was on the radio there saying he will pit. So he'll pit coming to 20 laps to go. So yeah, Cameron Craighead coming down pit road as he hugs the inside line there through the final corner. So everyone's going to come down pit road pretty much around the same lap like they did last time. The tires being taken for Jason Bottoms and Dakota Bly. So strategy calls there for those drivers. They have to top it off all the way.
So I think contact there. I think Jason Bottoms have hit the pit wall exit. Oh, it looks like he did.
No, he did. Oh, yeah, he lost it on those cold tires right off the pit exit. And just that tells you how treacherous these tires are. As he may have been close on a penalty there. Oh, but he's spun right now through the S's. Jason Bottoms, just the cold tires, big mistakes, and lose a lot of grip, and he spun through the S's. Keeps it off the racing line there. That's how treacherous cold tires can be.
He didn't hit anything, so he should be okay damage-wise. But Cameron Craighead also out the pit lane. He, I believe, only took fuel, maybe left side tires as well.
So that means he'll lap 5th place of Jason Bottoms. As Bottoms will fall behind Dakota Bly and Cody Dorsey. That's Cody Dorsey pits. Dorsey's still staying out of the racetrack. But I think that's when typically tires are better to not take here, because now you can see Cameron Craighead did not take tires, and just how much better he is pushing it. And these two, Dakota Bly and Jason Bottoms, just losing so much time on the cold tires. Just the cold tires, just for some reason, just are slower and the fresher tires just slower on the road courses than the next gen car. So that could also be a different strategy playing out in the Roval later in the season. We'll have that new tire model by then, as that will be coming next week. We'll have that for next week. So that definitely be a fun little strategy change on the road courses for some of these drivers.
Yeah, definitely should be. I mean, I think it should handle better. It should be more realistic. Obviously, that's kind of the goal with iRacing. Be as realistic as possible. I think more tire wear. I mean, next gen real life, you don't see a lot of tire wear, but definitely a lot more than we see right now in iRacing, especially at road courses as well. We got another spin there. Someone spun around. Oh, that's our.
Was Alex Pontior?
Currently the race leader. Drifting.
As our current race leader. Yeah, he lost it off the exit of the bus stop. Let's take a look here. Just lost it through the center of the bus stop. Didn't hit anything. Just a slow little spin. So he was already 20 seconds back from Cameron Craighead after he would have pitted. That could cost him a little bit of time, but now see if he comes down pit road. He's just down to the racetrack, but Cameron Craighead trying to chase him down and get back by him before pit stops even happen.
Yeah, Craighead just on a whole different planet right now, making very little mistakes. He made that one mistake earlier in the race, but right now got pole position at an EOL, got back up front, now got the field big time, and he's pretty much a pit stop ahead of everyone, give or take.
He did also take his fast pair, so if he does make a pretty big mistake that damages his car, he will be done for. So see if Cameron Craighead just has to keep it clean, no mistakes, and he's easily got this in the bag for now. Alex Pontior will still have to make a pit stop, and he's only 3 seconds ahead of Cameron Craighead. Oh, but Cameron Craighead! Too much of the bus stop! Hard in the wall! And big damage! Don't know if that blew his engine. Maybe he's able to keep rolling. Oh, Jason Bottom's in the way! He's in the way of Jason Bottoms as Jason Bottoms scrapes by him. There's big damage for Cameron Craighead there.
As he has a pretty big buffer to the next driver who has not pitted. But how bad is his damage? No meatball flag for him. But it could still be some steering damage. It looks okay. Somewhat from the outside looking at it. I mean, I don't think his toes knocked out too much.
And
no,
also,
he definitely has toe damage.
Just definitely a little bit, but also what I'm worried about, it is a little bit iffy in iRacing with engine damage. He was a pretty hard hit. I'm surprised he didn't blow the engine there. We saw that with Cody Pruitt earlier. But he could have got pretty heavy engine damage that could really hurt him on the straightaways, especially through the S's here, where top speed will matter big time, especially with this damage. So Cameron Craig had a pretty big mistake there, as he will still be the leader once Bonsior comes down pit road. As he's still staying out on the racetrack, he'll have to pit within 2 laps, as Cody Dorsey is yet to pit as well. We'll see where he cycle out compared to Dakota Bly and Jason Bottoms. But Cameron Craighead, big mistake there. Got lucky he wasn't DNF from that one. We'll see how much slower will that damage affect Cameron Craighead, as we'll see this is his first lap with the damage. I think typically for him, I think I'm more worried about the engine damage. He did have a little bit of wheel damage. I think the engine damage could be affecting him pretty bad, but that time by 14.8, honestly not terrible.
Not bad for the wheel damage. And also the damage he had prior as well. He's about a second and a half off of his usual pace, I would say. But still, pace-wise compared to everyone else, he's pretty much even with everyone else.
That just shows you how much faster he was, even with all the damage he just got. He got very lucky. So he did already take his fast spare, as his front bumper was fixed compared from earlier. That just shows you how much faster he was, even with this damage. Now he's starting to even lap times with those guys. But also, Now with that wheel damage, it's a little bit wiggle there at the exit of the west stop. That wheel damage, and he has a little bit of engine damage. I don't think he has engine damage, but that wheel damage could make it a little bit sketchy through some of these corners. So he's got to definitely can't be pushing like he was before. He's got to take it a little bit easier and just make sure to keep it on the racetrack. If he just keeps it on the racetrack, it's a very solid lead. You should be able to hold on to the win. But Alex Boncio is still staying out of the racetrack, so he's got to pit probably this time by Cody Dorsey. He's yet to pit too, wondering where Dakota Bly will cycle out. Will those drivers take tires or not? Will Cody Dorsey take tires? Will Alex Boncio take tires? Cody first sitting fourth after his wreck. He'll have to pit as well. He'll fall behind Dakota Bly and Jason Bottoms. Cody Dorsey stays out on the racetrack again, but the gap actually going down for Alex Boncio and Cameron Crackhead, as Cameron Crackhead is still faster, even with all that damage.
Yeah, I mean, right now, that's kind of what I was talking about a little earlier in tonight's race. Crackhead, he just didn't really need to push at all. He had a really comfortable lead. He was pretty much a pit stop ahead of everyone. I think he was just being a little bit over aggressive, you know. Just, there's no reason to even be close to wrecking at all. I mean, I know the next gen's somewhat unstable sometimes driving it, but there's not really
it definitely can be unpredictable from time to time, but I mean, just caught him off guard.
Yeah, I mean, obviously those curbs definitely just make anything unpredictable. I mean, really at this point in the race, with how big of a lead he had, he really doesn't need to be on the curbs at all if he just be risk adverse, you know. But I mean, with 14 laps to go, he's still on track to win this race if he keeps it off the wall, keeps it out of the wall, keeps it out of the grass and whatnot. But we'll see, as we've seen some crazy things happen tonight. A lot of drivers, some of these top runners as well, be involved in wrecks.
Yeah, well, what's really shocking me right now, Alex Boncio, I mean, I think typically right when your rival wrecks, even if he's still gaining time on you, want to try to push the pace a little bit, try to close that gap down because he's still running. But Alex Boncio is only running 115s. He isn't. I mean, he was running 113 and 114s earlier. So Boncio just really not pushing the pace out front right now. I think he would probably want to push a little bit because you're still gonna, even after you pit, you're still gonna be behind about 25 seconds. That's how far Cameron Crackhead was in front. So Boncio, you're able to push his pace down as much as you can because Cameron Crackhead, he's still, with that damage, he'll be limping around, but yeah, definitely be gaining a lot of time. But here comes Alex Boncio. He'll come down pit road. We'll see how far behind will he be compared to Cameron Crackhead.
So here comes Cameron Crackhead coming off his final corner. Gonna cross the line this time by, and we'll retake the race lead for now. We will see how big the gap is.
And Cody and Dakota Bly was able to stay in front of Cody was able to get in front of Cody Dorsey with his pit strategy. So we'll see, Cody Dorsey was maybe a little bit faster earlier. We'll see if he can chase down Dakota Bly and take that final spot on the podium, as Jason Bottoms, he was sitting third earlier, but his big big mistake off pit road exit cost him so much time. He is currently on the lead lap though, as Cameron Crackhead trying to chase him down and put in a lap down. Alex Boncio coming off pit road as Cameron Crackhead in the carousel. That shows you how far behind Alex Boncio is with that pit stop. He's about 30 seconds back. So far, Cameron Crackhead still holds the lead as he'll be coming to 12 laps to go this time by. Through the final corner, Cameron Crackhead with that heavy damage. We'll see how well he can hold on, but 12 to go. We're going to take this moment to do our element, crank it up here for the Glen. Welcome back from our Crank It Up segment there as Cameron Craighead still holds the lead as he's going to go put Jason Bottoms a lap down. Coming back from our Crank It Up, just time to mention our league sponsors. So if you all use the StubHub link in the description to support the Undisputed Cup Series for commission on your purchasing your tickets. So if you want to support the Undisputed Cup Series and also support their sponsors, KK Wordscapes, Quantum, Burlington Cafe, and all those great sponsors for all these for the leagues. If you want to support those, go ahead and check those guys out. There's Facebook pages and their social links. And also, if you're the driver looking under 3,000 already looking to join the league, check out Undisputed Cup Series on their Facebook page if you want to join this series, especially coming up in these next few weeks with these massive changes coming to the next gen car. This will definitely be fun to watch out for these next couple of weeks. Definitely going to see a lot different race next week than what we've been seeing so far this season.
Yeah, and just obviously this race will be different than next week as well at Richmond, so that'll be a very interesting one. Richmond short track race. Typically in real life, short tracks aren't very good with the next gen, but in iRacing they seem a little bit better, at least in the iRacing world. But we'll see how different it is at the short track. Usually you don't see a lot of dirty air at a track like at Richmond or Martinsville, but in real life it seems like more prevalent. You see some dirty air issues a lot of the NASCAR drivers talk about in real life, even at the short tracks. Right now Cameron Craighead 37-second lead currently, and everyone in the top four, the only he has fifth on back, a lap down. Or I guess fourth on back, I should say.
That much faster, even with that wheel damage he's got. A little wheel damage. As he had that big incident off the bus stop earlier, Bonsignor was just not able to keep the pace in it as he was earlier in the race, and he's still losing time. About 40 seconds behind Cameron Craighead. Dakota Bly able to jump Cody Dorsey off that pit strategy, as he pitted earlier than Cody Dorsey, and he's been able to stay out to about 4-second gap over Cody Dorsey for that third place spot right now. But 6 to go for Cameron Craighead as of now, as he's just trying to tick lap off one by one and get closer to the finish. Just gonna keep it clean, no big mistakes here, and he's got this race win in the bag, and it'll be his second win of the season. He won 2 weeks ago for race number 1 in Atlanta from our doubleheader week.
Yeah, so that's 5.5 laps to go, but he looks like he's really pushing it still, even with that toe damage I had in the front end. Hopping over those curbs in the bus stop. Yeah, Craig had just been really good tonight. Obviously had pole, but had an EWA penalty from last week at Atlanta. Carried over here to this week in Watkins Glen, got served. Now at the final corner, 5 laps to go here at Watkins Glen for the back of the pack designs 135. Cameron Craighead currently leads and is on track and on pace to win it as long as he doesn't make a mistake here in these next 5 laps.
We have 5 to go here for Cameron Craighead as it's getting closer and closer to that finish. At this point, when you're the race leader, just hoping it's over. Even especially you know you haven't run, just every lap just feels longer and longer. Just want to get it over with and get the race over. Each lap, take it 1 lap at a time. It's kind of look very slow there through the bus stop. Just trying to take it easy now, not trying to push. I believe the closest battle on the racetrack other than Dakota Bly and Cody Dorsey is Damon Murata and Scott Kerber.
Yeah, 5 seconds separate those two drivers, both on both 3 laps down currently.
So I'm gonna try to hold on believe he last pit on lap number 41, so he'll be good to the finish. Scott Kerberg, I believe that both these drivers are good at the finish here. And they will be pretty easily. See if Kerberg can close that gap down to Murata. We've got 9th place spot. Cody Dorsey is slower than Dakota Bly. Actually, was about a 10th faster, but they were pretty much both even between those two drivers. That final spot on the podium. But Murata coming up pit road and maybe
A little shallow entry.
Really shallow, like he was pitting, trying to stay under that line there. You really don't have to do that in the sim. A very shallow entry there. But he's still holding that gap. That time by was a 1:15.2, and Kerberg ran a 1:19.6, so he's putting a lot of time into Scott Kerberg. Try to hold that gap out in front. But a lot of mistakes that could have taken these drivers, out of the good contention is Kyle Schmitz. He got good pace to that lap one, a big lap one incident on the cold tires, catch him off guard. He'll end up finishing 8th tonight as he's the only driver 2 laps down. Evan Patheko, pretty big damage after his bus stop incident. Same with Cody Pruitt. They're going to finish 6th and 7th. As those two separate, there's a pretty big gap that separates those two drivers. A lot of incidents that cost them pretty positions. As Jason Bottoms, after his 2nd pit stop, pretty big mistake. Right now, Cameron Craighead out to a 41-second lead. This time by, he'll be coming to 2 laps to go. 4.9 miles left to go here from the road course in upstate New York at the virtual Watkins Glen International. It's Cameron Craighead. Won last 2 weeks ago at Atlanta for race number 1 of that doubleheader. He's looking to go a back-to-back top 3 finishes. He finished top 2 of all 3 races, both the races last race at Atlanta. He's looking to win again here at Watkins Glen. So Cameron Craighead very strong. He missed the first 2. I believe he missed the first 2 races, so he's coming back very strong once he's joined. And he's now looking for win number 2 of the season. So Evan Matejko trying to put Evan Matejko 1 more lap down before this race ends. He's been a 42-second lead tonight over Alex Bonsignor in 2nd. Cody Doshi was another driver. He won at Legacy, Texas in Rockingham. Back-to-back on race 2 and 3 of the season. Start the season off strong. Gonna be another solid finish for that that 9 machine of Cody Dorsey. But 1 to go for Cameron Craighead as officer number 1 down the short chute into the S's. So a few lap cars to navigate through here.
Yeah.
By Scott Kerberg.
40-second lead right now, so just gotta take it easy. No reason to do anything too crazy here on these lap cars. And into the bus stop he goes for the final time tonight.
Get hard on the brakes, attack all those curves as much as he can. Pretty much not even on the pavement, all over the curbs. Final time through the carousel for that 48 of Cameron Craighead. He qualified on pole tonight. Got that pit stop he wanted, but had to serve the EOL penalty at the start. He worked his way up to the top 3 with the first 8 laps. Struggled to get by Alex Bonsignor early, but found the mistake he needed and got by Alex Bonsignor. Ever since then, he's been in his own time zone tonight, putting lap times after lap times, seconds faster than the field. Off the final corner, Cameron Craighead, he's going to win at Watkins Glen. And he's no time to celebrate. Drifting turn 1 there as he locked it up big time but everyone else coming to finish now as Alex Bonsior 40 seconds behind. He's down the back straightaway, secondary back straightaway as Cameron Craighead still celebrating through the S's there. This shows you how much farther back Alex Bonsior is. He's coming through the final corner now, over 42 seconds back from Cameron Craighead. So Alex Bonsior will pick up P number 2. Solid finish for him tonight. Dakota Bly, a good pit strategy, able to undercut, able to get in front of Cody Dorsey. As Dakota Bly will pick up P number 3. And Cody Dorsey, the final driver on the lead lap tonight, will pick up 4th. And Jason Bottoms, Cody Pruitt finishing. Evan Patinko, big mistakes from Cody Pruitt and Evan Patinko. They will finish 1 lap down. Kyle Schmitz will finish 2 laps down in 8th. But Cameron Craighead, a dominant performance tonight, having to go from the back to the front.
He's been burning down here in every corner and pow into the wall there.
Hits the tire barrier there, but there's no stranger to those tire barriers tonight. He made a pretty big mistakes that could have cost him that win. But he's able to keep it going, and now he's going to celebrate it. So he gets coming down into the front straightaway. The second time this season, Cameron Craighead goes to victory lane. So we'll burn it down on the front straightaway. So you want to land on 2 weeks back for the race 1 of that doubleheader. Now he wins at the road course, our first road course of the season. And our final race for this tire model of the next gen. So we'll see how well these drivers can adapt next week. We'll ask those drivers about that in their these top 2 drivers in their interviews there. But Cameron Craighead gonna burn it down here from the Glen. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back with our top 3 interviews here from the Glen.
Hey guys, this is Kevin from KK Woodscapes, and we just wanted to say how excited we are to be sponsoring the Undisputed Cup Series this season for the championship trophy. And also, we are looking forward to working with you guys. Hopefully, we can bring your virtual victories into reality this season. And you can reach out to me on Discord, or you can scan the QR code below, and it'll take you to our Instagram page where you can see all the work we've done over the years. Thank you guys, and good luck this season.
Welcome back here to Watkins, Glen, as you're watching the Back of Pack Designs 135. As we just saw, Cameron Craighead in a dominant performance tonight, able to pick up the race win. Before we get to our top 2 interviews, let's take a quick look at our results tonight for tonight's Back of Pack Designs 135 here from the Glen. It's Cameron Craighead able to pick up the race win over 41 seconds over Alex Bonsior there in second. Dakota Bly in third, and Cody Dorsey rounds out the lead lap finishers in fourth. Jason Bottom shots at the top 5 in that number 5 machine. Cody Pruitt will finish 6th tonight. Evan Patinko in 7th. Kyle Schmitz in 8th. Damon Murata in 9th. And Scott Kerber running our top 10 tonight. Cole Lewis finishing 11th. The last driver running, and David Wells and Justin Hughes finishing 12th and 13th, as there were only 2 DNFs of tonight. But out in front, it was Cameron Craighead. He was able to get the pole, but had to serve his EOL and worked his way through the field, and he did it very quickly. But was struggling to get by Alex Bonsior there early. How are you able to get that done? And just how tough was it to get through the field there in those first early stages of the race?
Yeah, I started. I was planning on being easy, and then, the game plan. As soon as green flag dropped, it just went away, and I was, back to my aggressive nature. Just it didn't work out. I apologized to David. I already apologized to him. I felt terrible for getting into him there. Cold tires. It didn't work out well, but I was surprised about how quick I got through the field. I felt like a lot of guys were taking it really easy, so I was trying to capitalize on it, and then. I got through some fast guys. Cody was pretty good, so I took my time around him. Both Codys. I forgot there's two of them now, but yeah. So I took my time around them, and then I got to Alex, and I was like, I'll just take my time here. I didn't want to mess anything up. I have a reputation of wrecking my car, which I showed tonight after that second pit stop. But took our time, pit early. He followed us in, and yeah, got through him, and just built a gap.
So you're able to get that win very fast tonight, and just you're able to dominate tonight. And kind of a last race on this tire model, as well as mentioned it throughout the show, and I know a few of you guys probably know it, but Tuesday, big updates to this X-Chain car with the tire model and aero model. So how do you think that's going to affect you going into next week for first race on that with that new update going to Richmond? Just how are you going to try to adapt to that next week, and what's your game plan going into Richmond next week with those new updates?
Well, I was totally unaware of the updates, and now I'm gonna go study some what it's gonna be like, because I have no idea. And once it comes out, I'm gonna practice. Just be ready for it.
So we'll see if you can go 3 weeks in a row. You're able to win at Atlanta. That